perfect scapegoat. Miss Miles has been accused of tampering with the door and the band's pyrotechnics, causing the explosion and resulting stampede. The prosecution will call a witness to the stand to attempt to establish motive. They will also call 2 witnesses to attempt to link the defendant, Cy Miles, with the Facebook account of the songwriter. The prosecution will try to establish motive, which is not there, and evidence that is merely circumstantial. The defense will call the defendant to give her testimony, as well as a witness who will tell you that Miss Miles was seen leaving the theater in a cab before the concert began. You will also hear from a witness who will testify that the Digby Theater was unsafe for such a concert. This information, as well as evidence that Miss Miles did not create the cynical songwriter account, will provide reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is an honest uncertainty as to the guilt of the defendant, which is based on common sense and reason. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if by the end of this trial you are not fully convinced that Cy Miles is guilty, then it is your moral responsibility to vote not guilty. The death of Janet Jobson was a tragedy. She was only 27 years old and her life was taken too soon. Cy Miles, the defendant, is only 29 years old with her whole life ahead of her. Her life rests solely in your very capable hands. Jury, do not take this decision lightly. You have the power to alter your life forever. I ask that in this trial you search for the truth and make your decision based on the truth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Prosecution, are you ready to proceed with your case?
Yes, ma'am, we are. I will be doing the direct examination, and my partner and colleague, Zachary Grable, will be filing the cross-examination.
Okay. Do you have a witness that you would like to call?
Yes, I would like to call Marlo Marvin Hubbard to the stand.
Okay.
Marlo here.
Okay. Would you please raise your right hand, take the oath? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may, well, you're already seated, so you may begin with the questioning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hubbard, what is your current occupation?
I am the lead guitarist and singer and kind of, I guess you could say, head honcho of the band Destination Conflagration.
Now, how old are you?
37 years old, but don't look a day over 25, if you know what I'm saying.
Now, in your affidavit, you use the word young to describe your age. Does that describe your positive outlook on life?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think you're only as old as you really feel. And, 37 is pretty young today. You think about modern medicine. So I feel young. 37 seems young. And, my parents are old, and I'm not quite there yet.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is the style of your music, and how would you classify it?
A little rocky. We're kind of a mix of a bunch of things. Bon Jovi, Joni Mitchell. We're kind of just, man, if you mix all those together and a bunch of bands, we got this just, wow, but, a little rockish. So maybe fit into that kind of rock music, I guess.
All right, so the style that you perform, that you prefer to perform it, is rock. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. You could fit it into a rock style, sure.
Okay. So Mr. Hubbard, how did you meet Miss Cy Miles?
Yeah, so that was, a couple years back. We were at the Buddy Fest. Which, at the time I thought was a waste. I was getting paid in burgers instead of money. But, I played my set, and Cy came on and played hers, and probably one of the greatest versions of Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. And the crowd loved it. And right after that, I thought, we need to meet. And so that was back, 2017. And so it was at the Buddy Fest, so just a couple years ago.
Okay. So did Miles sign an agreement about the rights of her song lyrics with you?
Yeah. So, I've been in this business for a little while to know that you have to have a contract, an agreement. And so, after the Buddy Fest, when we were meeting on a napkin there, we wrote out that each of us would have equal rights to perform the songs that were written as our individually or with another group. And so, she signed that. Absolutely.
All right, thank you. At this time, Judge Miller, I would like to introduce our view of the jury.
Okay. I'm sorry, you would like to introduce what?
Exhibit 1, the agreement that was signed between Cy Miles and Marlo Hubbard.
Okay. Do you know how to share your screen to do that, or do you need me to do that?
I'm pretty sure I do. This may take seconds. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Alright, I'm currently sharing my screen. Is the exhibit showing?
No, but do you have the screen? Do you have the exhibit on your screen?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. No, we are not seeing it right this moment.
Alright,
Give me a moment and I will try and find it.
I also have a print off of the exhibit. Would you like me to show it in front of the camera so that the jury may see it?
Give me just a moment and let me see if I can share it through my screen. I've got to get to the page. I'm on page 30. I need to get to page 51. I'm getting there. There it is. Okay, so share screen. Okay, I just shared it. Does everybody see it?
No,
Okay, let me try that again.
Yes,
You do see it, Zachary?
I did.
Okay, so let me go back and do that again then. Now do you see it?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so everyone can see that, hopefully. I will read it out to you just in case. It says, I, Marlo Hubbard, and I, Cy Miles, agree that we'll each have equal rights in the songs we write together as Destination Conflagration, the rockinest band that ever existed. Signed, Cy Miles, Marlo Hubbard. Okay. Oops.
May I continue with my questioning, Your Honor?
Yes. Yes, you may.
So, Mr. Hubbard, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. So this agreement between you and Cy Miles, she knowingly signed this this agreement and gave co-ownership of any of the songs that were produced. Is that correct?
That's how I understand it. Yeah, you got to have a contract.
So when you met Cy Miles, you said that she was like no musician you had ever seen. But did any of her other flaws make her less than others in the way she interacted with people?
Yeah, I think that she was able to play out her music with such passion, and as an artist, you gotta have that. But she kind of wanted things, I think, her way sometimes, and um, it's kind of her way or the highway. Sometimes I felt like she didn't really hear me out or want to progress in the way that I wanted to and see the band go. So,
All right. So who wrote the agreement that was written?
I wrote it, and she signed it.
Okay, and she signed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you sign the note rather nonchalantly, and she didn't give much thought to having read it over and what it said?
Yeah, I don't know that she, looked at it the way she should, and you gotta always read what you sign. But she did kind of hurriedly, just kind of like whatever, as long as we get to play music, kind of a deal.
Okay. In the time that you and Sai have known each other, have you ever seen her in a disagreement with someone else?
Maybe sometime, not like a lot that I can recall. At least I don't remember. If so,
How did she handle herself in those situations?
well, I think I put it in my statement. At least when we were talking about with the band, she got pretty heated there for a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a firecracker, but I think rightfully so. She thought, I was taking something from her, but we had that contract, so gotta live by that contract.
So in your affidavit, you say that Sai did not like the way that things were going. There was a threat that was thrown out about her not letting the song lyrics she had made be put to use in this way. Now, this was an enormous shock. Her having a temper. How would you expect her to handle this shock?
Man, yeah, that's hard to say, I guess. Yeah, she did not like her music being, she wanted it her way. She was very specific. It had to be her way, and so, but our band really needed that little bit of extra, and I think that we've achieved that, but I don't think Sai is on board with that, and so yeah, she got a little bit mad when we talked about, I guess, changing it up and making it a little bit more pizzazz with the band.
All right. Can you describe for me briefly the band's success?
Yeah. So after Buddy Fest, it was kind of just little venues here and there, and but then we finally got like a break at the Coho Club, and that was something that was routine for us. We kept it. We were able to keep playing consistently, and we started to add just a little bit, not much, as side request, not to add too much. But when Sturgeon Sampson was going to come and play at the Digby Theater, that was our big break. I mean, finally, someone was going to recognize us, and we were going to take off the way that we needed to. This was our shot. This was a time when I think people were going to hear our name, and I was pretty excited for that.
So after this performance, were you offered a record contract?
I think that we had a chance. Yeah, I think Jennifer Gallagher kind of had, she was the person for that contact. For Fourth Person Records, that's huge on the West Coast. So I think that we had a chance to really nail something down that was going to get out to the people and get our name out there.
All right. Now, what was the very first incident with Miss Miles in the band?
The first one, or at least, well, I guess you could say the first one that I can recall was when we were at the Coho Club, and yeah, people just wanted something a little bit more, that we were settling, and so I wanted to add just a keyboard, just some keys to make it just a more fuller sound, add something, and Sai was not a fan. She wanted to keep herself simple and just have it stand on its own, but man, I really knew that we just need that bigger, fuller sound from adding a little bit of electric keyboard, basically.
Okay. Now, why was Psy against an electric keyboard being added to the band?
I think she just kind of overreacted. She wanted it her way. She thought that her songs didn't need it, and I disagreed.
After your event at the Coho, where did you have in mind to perform?
Well, that was a few months after that is when we got that invitation for playing at the Digby Theater, and we'd played there. At least I played there a couple times. I played there a couple times, and so that was kind of the plan was to hopefully get in on that.
Okay. Have you and Sai ever frequented this place? Ever been there before?
Yeah, it's old. It's a historic place. I've been there many times, and I think Sai had as well.
All right. But in your time there, did you and Sai Miles ever discuss the hazards of the Digby Theater?
Yeah, we did. It looked like it was set up in the 1920s. It probably was, I guess, and it probably wasn't up to building code in my mind. But I remember us talking about the narrow steps, only having 2 exits, which isn't really a lot, and yeah, we had that conversation.
Okay. So she knew the potential for disaster and that innocent people might get hurt if there was ever a problem. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, did she know that there was an exit in the back and a side exit?
I assume so. I think so. I think she knew that there was the 2 exits.
Okay. So after the falling out between you and Sai, you were what were you doing after the time that you had that falling out?
You talking about when Sai left the band?
Yes.
So when Sai left the band, over Jessica Gallagher's suggestion to add some light pyrotechnics and such. After that happened, the next day, we were gonna perform, and I pretty much just kind of tried to focus on getting in the right mindset of going and playing. Stayed in the artist lounge pretty much all day, but yeah, didn't really do too much, I guess. Just try to get my head in the right place.
What did you do before your time at the artist lounge and before the concert?
I pretty much stayed in the artist lounge all day. Maybe a little bit of nerves. I got to get myself in the right mindset to perform. You can't just go out cold. So didn't really do a whole lot. Just stayed there pretty much the whole day.
So, did you see Sai before the show?
Not when I was in the artist lounge, but I had to come out 2 hours before the show to do our sound check and such. And that's when I saw Sai for the first time that day. And I was coming up on stage, and I think Sai just ran off stage real quick, and she was down on the floor, and I saw her down there.
So Sai didn't want you to be. Is that correct?
off stage when I was coming out.
Okay. Now, did she leave immediately after you saw her?
No, I saw her kind of lingering around. She was standing over by that side door exit, just kind of fiddling with something, in her pocket. But I tried not to pay attention to it too much because I was trying to get in the right mindset of bringing this awesome performance for the people, for the fans.
Okay. Now, did Sai seem angry or upset?
Maybe a little, but I really wasn't paying attention to her. I was trying to just get in the mindset for singing the songs. Happened to be the lead guitarist and lead singer this time. I was really trying to get in the zone.
All right, now let Miles leave. When was the last time you saw her?
It might have been somewhere during the sound check, or maybe even after the sound check. I'm not totally sure. Again, the lights in your face, you're trying to get up, make sure your guitar's in tune. Kind of didn't pay attention too much.
All right. And did you notice which door she went out when she exited the building?
No, I didn't. I don't know which door she used.
Okay. Now, has there ever been a disagreement between you and Sai Miles over anything other than the big blowout that you had?
Besides the electric keyboard back at the Coho Club, and maybe just does pineapple belong on pizza or not? Not really that much.
And you say that Sai Miles was easily provoked and agitated during these disagreements. Is that correct?
Yeah, when it came to the music, she did not want anything changed. So she was pretty stuck in her ways. She wanted it her way or the highway.
Okay. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the history of Miss Miles?
I guess I don't know her too much before. We met in 2017. That was the first time I kind of met her. But she was an awesome songwriter, a good performer, and for a long time it was working. And it just kind of fell apart. She did not want to change.
So when you signed the agreement, you did not know her history. Is that correct?
No, that was the first day we had met. So the only thing I knew is that Sai killed it with Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, and I thought, man, that's who I want to be with.
So, were you shocked to find out that Miss Miles had been convicted of arson previously?
Yeah, that was crazy, and I don't know. We might not have ever joined together if I'd have known that, but I didn't find out till after this incident about that.
So you signed the contract without knowing that Miss Miles had been convicted of arson.
That is correct.
All right, thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
you may begin.
So, in your answer to the prosecution's question, when you said that you went up on the stage for sound check, and you said that you had seen Sai, and you also said that you weren't paying too much attention to what she was doing. If you weren't paying too much attention, then could you be sure that it was actually Sai, or could it have possibly been someone else?
No, I recognized her face. You know, working together for 3 years, I know that it was Sai, but yeah, she turned, and I just knew I need to focus on the show. I'm positive it was Sai.
Could you, because you were distracted by the lights and such, you could be sure of what she was doing, if she was actually like. In your statement, you said that she was near the side door and she was fiddling with something in her pocket. You said could be a guitar string, but because you were distracted by the pyrotechnics, could you have actually been sure if it was her with a guitar string in her pocket?
I don't know if it was a guitar string. I just know that she was over by the door, just standing lurking, I guess. So I don't know specifically what she was doing or what she had. I just know she was over there.
So also in the contract you wrote with Sai, what exactly did you agree to? Could you repeat what that was?
For the contract we signed at the Buddy Fest, we put that basically that we would have equal rights to songs that we wrote, so that way, you know, we could perform them together or separate.
So when you say her songs, are you talking about the songs that she wrote on her own or the songs that you wrote together?
Well, these were the songs that we wrote
As
as a band, so you know, I kind of think, you know, it's if it's the song for the band, it's a song for us.
So, have you ever plagiarized another artist's lyrics?
Say that one more time.
Have you ever plagiarized another artist's lyrics?
Oh, no, I don't think so. You know, you get inspiration from other bands, but you know, that's their work. I want to be my own person, you know.
Would you say that Sai being found guilty could benefit you in any way?
Well, it's tough to say. You know, I would like to hope that with her out of the way, that you know, we can just continue on, and hopefully put this behind us. You know, I still think Destination Configuration is, you know, bound to take off in this country. People can just hear our music.
In your witness statement, in line 19 and 20 on page 19, you stated that if Sai ends up going to jail, maybe the folks over at Fourth Person Records will see that this was truly a fluke, and that with Sai out of the picture, we're safe to become superstars. Otherwise, I guess I have to start a whole new band and write whole new songs.
Yeah, I guess that is right. If yeah, you know, I don't think I did anything wrong, so you know, I don't want to be punished for it. You know, I just want to get our band off the ground. I want to become the superstar that Marlo was born to be.
When you were doing the sound check, was there anyone else in that room except Sai? Did you see anyone else?
I guess I didn't pay attention that much. Seeing Psy kind of threw me off, and then, like I said, trying to get back on focus of just being in the right mindset to give the fans what they really wanted. Just good, clean, awesome music.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Prosecution, do you have any rebuttal?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, Mr. Hubbard,
Yes.
you said that you wanted the band to have a little more pizzazz.
Yes.
Could you elaborate exactly how you wanted that to come about?
Every band has to have something. People want the high energy. They don't want to sit there like bumps on a log. And so, when Jennifer mentioned, putting a little bit of pyrotechnics, I was okay with that. I think you got to be able to adapt and evolve your music and how you perform. It's a performance after all. And people want to see that. So, maybe I didn't care so much. I just wanted to give the people a good show.
Okay. This was Jennifer at Fourth Person Records?
Yes, yeah. She said we need some lights, some sparkles, little effects like that. That's what the people are into nowadays.
Did she suggest any extra instruments?
Not really, not the first time, but I'm always game to add stuff. At least I don't remember her saying something about instruments.
So the synthesizer was your idea?
You talking about the electric keyboard originally?
Yes.
Yeah, that was mine. I thought, you just need that sound that's just in the background, it kind of helps carry the song through.
Okay. What exactly, or what instruments typically make up a traditional rock band, such as yours?
Yeah, you gotta have guitars. Guitars are always awesome. Good bass, solid drums driving the beat, and some keys. You got to throw the keys in there. And if you're fancy, you want to get a little crazy, you throw a cowbell in. People like the cowbell.
All right. You also mentioned that in your affidavit that you were doing a pre-show sound check. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, you got to make sure it all sounds good before you get out there and perform.
Okay. Is that the point at which you saw Psy next to the secondary exit on the
That
side?
is correct. Yeah, that's when I saw her.
All right. Your Honor, I would like to introduce Exhibit 2, the layout of the theater.
Okay. Do you need me to do that for you, or are you going to try and share your screen?
I'm not able to share my screen.
I will do it for you then. So the layout, can you tell me the exhibit number, please?
Number 2.
Okay. That should be easy enough. Can you see it?
Yes. Not yet.
Was that a yes or a no?
I cannot at the moment.
I can see it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you, if that helps. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. Proceed.
Mr. Hubbard, how long
Yeah.
exactly would you say it takes to exit, for a traditional crowd to exit the theater?
It's hard to tell. I like to sit up front when I go there to listen to people, and it might take me a little bit of time. People are talking, people reminiscing. I don't know, 5 minutes or more, 10 minutes. I'm not sure really.
All right. And if one of the side exits were blocked, the time would be substantially longer. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it'd be like a bottleneck back there at the main exit.
All right. Didn't Sai say something to the effect of if there was ever an earthquake or fire or something like that, it'd be a total disaster and people might get hurt?
That's correct. That's what I remember.
All right. I want to go back to our first questioning. You mentioned Sai being a bit of a firecracker. What exactly did you mean by that?
She wanted things her way. Yeah, and I don't want to be offensive, but all women are a little bit emotional. So it's not I haven't handled in my life. Women get a little bit, heated when they don't get their way sometimes. That's just a fact of life.
So
Mr. Grable, Mr. Grable, do you need me to continue to leave the exhibit up, or can I take it down now?
Oh, sorry, you can take it down.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you would describe Sai as being a bit over emotional, just prone to getting angry easily, that kind of thing?
But yeah, she overreacts. Yeah, she overreacts.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hubbard, thank you for your testimony. Prosecution, do you retain the right to recall this witness, or can he be dismissed? In other words, will you need him in the future, or?
That is a possibility. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Hubbard, please maintain your availability for us, but you may exit the stand now. Prosecution, who would be your next witness that you would like to call? Do you have another witness, prosecution?
I would like to call to the stand Miss Jones, Your Honor.
Okay. Miss Jones, you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may proceed, prosecution.
Thank you. Miss Jones, what is your current occupation?
I am a music journalist with Rock and Row Today.
Okay. How long have you been with Rock and Row?
Oh, they hired me right out of college.
Okay. How long have you been following the band Destination Conflagration around?
Couple of years.
Right. During the time you were following band, did you ever see Miss Miles get into a disagreement with anyone?
I mean, not other than Marlo.
Okay. When she formed the disagreement with Marlo Hubbard, were they talking loudly?
Yeah, they were shouting at each other.
Would you say that Miss Miles was angry?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, since they were talking loudly, you would have been able to make out what was being said, were you?
I mean, not until I came out of the room. Like, I couldn't hear them through the walls.
But did you make out some of the words of the conversation?
Towards the end, when she came out, she said she wasn't going to let Marlo destroy what she'd worked for.
And were you at all concerned about how Cy Miles would have reacted to this ousting from the band?
I mean, not really. I didn't find out that she was ousted until after I heard them fighting.
So what did you think when Cy Miles left the band and she was angry?
Well, I knew I had a big story, but since I didn't establish that she was on record, I didn't want to cause problems for her. And I figured they were going for like a huge blow up anyways later on, so I figured I'd just throw that in there later.
Okay. Now, on the unfortunate night of October 26th, 2019, when fan Miss Janet Jobson was tragically killed, was crushed to death. Now, what led you to believe that something bad was going to happen on that night at the Can You Dig It concert?
Well, I got a Facebook message that looked like a threat to burn down the theater, so that was kind of what clued me in.
What did this post say?
Well, I mean, it looked like a threat to burn down the theater.
All right, Your Honor, I would like to introduce Exhibit 3, which is the social media post from Cynical Songwriter.
Okay. Please let me know when everyone can see it.
I got it.
I can see it.
Okay. You may proceed. Let me know when I can take it down, but you may proceed.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so on the night of October 26, 2019, you say you saw this Facebook post. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, what prompted you to see this Facebook post?
Well, I felt my phone vibrate at the beginning of the concert, but also before that, Cy had told me that I needed to keep my phone on and check my messages.
Okay. All right. So Cy informed you of this pending Facebook post. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now during the time that you saw this Facebook post, were you on Facebook at all?
No. I mean, like after I saw it, I reposted it on my Facebook.
Okay. Now, before the start of the show, right beforehand, what were you doing?
I was trying to get a better seat.
Okay. So, were you in the front of the theater or near the back?
Yeah, I was moving towards the front. I was trying.
Okay. While you were at this theater and you were finding a better seat, did you ever try the side exit door?
Not until I saw the Facebook post and then headed towards the side door to warn security to try and get out.
So you were not near the side exit door before the start of the show and during the show, and right towards the end you were. Is that correct?
Correct. I didn't go near the door until I went to security about the threat.
All right, thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense? Would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Where did you meet Cy or Mr. Miles? Or Mrs. Where did you meet Cy and Marlo for the first time?
At the Coho Club a few years ago.
Would you characterize Marlo as an honest person?
I mean, yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Has he ever plagiarized any songs by other artists?
Yeah, I mean, like, once everybody thought it was hilarious and loved it anyways. So it's not a big deal.
In your statement, you said that you were always searching for a good story. Would you say that this incident could have helped your career at all?
I mean, not yet. I'm still in the middle of publishing everything.
Is it possible that I tend to exaggerate things, considering in your past you worked with fictional writing?
Yeah, that's what I majored in school.
You stated that you had swung by the theater before the show, but you did not see Marlo, but you saw the defendant Cy at the theater. You said it was 2 hours before the show had started. Can you describe what you saw?
Well, I walked in to get like an inside scoop just to try and talk to Cy before the show. And when I walked in, I saw Cy with kind of what looked like to be a wrench, and she was kind of messing with a black box, which I knew from my experience to be pyrotechnic. And she was kind of in a hurry, and she rushed off, and she told me to check my messages and not to miss the show. And she also told me that the door was locked.
What time exactly would you say that you were there?
A couple hours before the show.
So approximately 2 hours before the show?
Yeah, about.
According to Marlo, considering that he did his sound check before the show started, wouldn't you have seen him also at the sound check when you went into the room?
I wasn't there for the sound check. I was there, but I didn't see the sound check happen.
When you got the notification of the Cynical Songwriters posts, which they tagged you in, did you repost this post before contacting the authorities?
Yeah, I can't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Why did you decide to repost this Facebook post before contacting the authorities of that?
Well, because I knew people were going to be watching my page because they knew I followed them. And I figured that was one way to get it out quickly and efficiently while I looked for security.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Prosecution, do you have rebuttal for this witness?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Okay. Considering the time, do you think that we could finish with the rebuttal in the next 4 to 5 minutes, or should we wait until tomorrow?
We can try to condense it, Your Honor.
It's totally up to you. I'm asking your opinion.
We would like to proceed then.
Okay. You may proceed.
Okay. So, Ms. Jones, you said in your affidavit that you started to sense some tension within the band towards the end of 2018. Could you elaborate on that for us, please?
Well, I mean, everybody saw it coming. I mean, everybody was sensing the tension with the added keyboard player and just like, I mean, the way Sai had wanted things. It was just like everyone could sense it.
Did you obviously talked to Sai about this. Did she seem upset when she talked to you?
I mean, she gave me a passing comment and she was not happy about the keyboard at all. She said it was ruining her songs.
Okay. Did she say that she was going to potentially do anything about it or just leave it alone?
Oh no, she was gonna do something about it.
But she did not tell you what?
No.
Okay. She did tell you that the side door to the theater was locked. Why do you think she told you that?
I don't know. I didn't think anything about it when she told me.
Okay. Let's see. So after you talked with Sai about the tension in the band, she stormed away, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see where she stormed off to?
No.
Just out of the room?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, do you have anything further for this witness at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Prosecution, is there a possibility you'll need to recall this witness later?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Jones, we thank you for your testimony at this point. We do ask that you remain available to the court for further testimony. Our time together today is about over, so I would like to thank all of the participants. Court will adjourn in just a moment and reconvene at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon via Skype. Thank you all for your participation. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Seniors,
Thank
will
you.
you stay on for a moment, please? And Miss Melton, if you would stay on for a moment, please. Everybody else, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, I think we're down to our seniors. Miss Melton, are you still here?